This is Agronomy and Economy from the Dickinson Research Extension Center with me, Ryan Buetow, and
I'm Levi Helmuth.
I'm an area extension specialist with the NDSU Extension with cropping systems.
I'm an instructor with the North Dakota Farm Business Management Program. I'm an employee of Bismarck State College, and I work with farmers across the southwestern North Dakota region.
And this show is to tell you a little bit about what goes on here at the DREC, or Dickinson Research Extension Center, and let you know what's going on in agriculture and in research around the region. So, the Dickinson Research Extension Center was established in 1905 by the North Dakota legislature as a research location representative of the Missouri Plateau region. We work with families in North Dakota. We research and report on agricultural methods that are sensible, appear sustainable, and advance stewardship. Our goal is to engage in science-based research that achieves solutions. I guess what's happening in the market lately?
Well, the WASDE report came out today, so that always riles the markets one way or the other. Monday we saw trading a little lower. That was probably in anticipation of the report coming out today. Weather conditions are good across most of the region. We saw rain across the northern Great Plains. There are some places across the world that were too wet potentially in parts of South America, parts of the southern U.S., but that was more the cotton crop. Doesn't necessarily affect the corn and soybean and wheat crops that our farmers are normally concerned with. The corn rains, rains affecting corn were timely, and especially for as wheat follows corn, except when it doesn't. Black Sea region in Australia and Canada. Canada's crop outlook is good, is strong. Black Sea region, especially in Russia, saw some good rains when they needed it.
Yeah.
Australia did have lower production. In the WASDE report, they had the EU kind of was above production, and that was offset by lower production coming out of Australia and a little lower in parts of Russia.
Okay. Yeah, we had some rains in the region around here. Right kind of when people are getting going full on with harvest around here. Currently, today is November 10th, is it? Right?
10th.
Yeah,
Tuesday,
today is November
10th.
10th. Tomorrow's Veterans Day. You'll probably be watching this after Veterans Day, most likely, once we get it uploaded. But currently, U.S. corn harvest was 93% complete. Soybean harvest was 95% complete. And winter wheat planting was 92% complete. That's nationally. But North Dakota's corn harvest is reported at 91%, and sunflower harvest at 83%, but I believe those numbers are a bit lower in this area.
I know producers that are enrolled in my program have mentioned that they have some acres of either corn or sunflowers that they're still working on trying to get wrapped up.
And there's some deer hunters out there that are hoping that the corn and sunflowers get harvested soon as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So yeah. Our topic of the day is communication. So what we're going to do with this show is we'll kind of give you an update of what's happening at the moment, which is what we just did with the market update, anything that's happening out in the fields. And then we'll have a topic of the day. And in future episodes, we hope to have guests, researchers, industry leaders, and anyone else that we can get. So we'll be talking about communication, means of receiving information, and the differences about how different generations go about communicating and receiving their own information.
Absolutely. Ryan and I have talked right across the hall, and we've talked about this a couple times where the differences in how generations communicate. Producers in my program, especially the older ones, they prefer for me to mail them the forms that they're required to fill out, and some of the younger ones are very much more comfortable with, don't mail me something, I'll just lose it, and they'd rather have it in the email form and electronically. One thing that I have noticed that kind of spans, anyone from 20, the guys up into their 60s, all of them are very good at text, and they're actually, surprisingly, I'll call them and maybe won't get a call back, or if I leave a voicemail, I won't get a call back, I'll actually get a text back. So that's not just a millennial trend, the whole not responding to voicemails via a call.
And we're in an age right now where people are sitting in their tractors. Their tractor's a portable office.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and
there's a reason why the cab option on some of these new machineries is pretty spendy.
Yeah.
You spend a majority of your time there.
Yeah, and I don't know. I definitely prefer to get email or text. And exactly. Someone calls you, you don't want to listen to the voicemail. You just want to get a quick text and see what they're saying. So
My argument, my mother always nags at me. I don't have my voicemail set up on my phone yet.
Yeah.
And my argument is, if I'm not busy to take the call, what makes you think I'm going to be not busy enough to be able to answer the voicemail? Now, if I'm in a meeting or in between producers or something, I can maybe respond to a text. I mean,
Yeah.
in the business setting, like you're in between two clients, you can answer a third client's question rather than having to wait till the end of the day to try and call them back. And maybe I'll send that text, and then the next day or that afternoon or when I'm not busy later, I'll follow it up with a phone call.
definitely. And I mean, along with that, you even get to stuff like the radio versus podcast, TV. I mean, our generation is kind of cutting cords. It seems like.
Absolutely. Non-traditional ways of media, the advent of Netflix, Hulu, and the YouTube channels, podcasts like this, which are accessible, or even if there are regular scheduled radio broadcasts, you're maybe not able to access those during their regular radio times, and they've gone to having a website where you can't.
You can listen to the radio show later on in the day.
Isn't that really a podcast then, of the radio show?
Yeah. So it's pretty interesting stuff, but I don't know. It's just the way things are changing now, and I think it's pretty good.
I think it's good. It definitely opens up the mode of topics for, especially you in Extension Outreach, and then that's part of my job is as an instructor of farm business management for farmers, and it's one more area for me to be in contact with them, and for you fulfilling the goal of Extension Outreach. It's another more accessible way. There's more ways for accessible. I mean, I'm not knocking the traditional.
Yeah, the traditional way to do it is great, but there's so many different ways now to do it. Which one do you put it out on?
I say all of them. Just
Exactly.
take a shotgun approach to it. I mean, you're going to hit maybe the guys who don't have time to come into the town hall meetings. They're able to access it when they're out in the field still, or they're able to access it before. You could put information out there, like a pre-read document, and then they read those materials over, and they come to those town hall meetings better informed. Think with the Farm Bill. You can put information about the Farm Bill's effects out in a podcast or have those accessible online that they can access. They're in the tractor planning, and they're able to access on their smartphone, and then go into town in the evening or that weekend when the conference town hall sort of setting is, and they're that better informed, and they already know. They don't have to sit there for an hour and hear that you can maybe condense a
2-hour speech into 2 minutes.
And then
the highlights of
and then you can extend the Q&A session, which is usually, especially last year. I mean, as these farm bills get more and more complex, I mean that's
more
just
and more questions.
That's just one area. I mean, that's focusing more on the economy side. I understand, but there's certainly other areas where that can play with your agronomy. I'm sure.
Definitely, yeah. It's a wild world we're living in, right?
Yeah,
we're in the future now, so.
I guess.
But yeah, I think that's going to be it for our first show. If not, do we have anything else we could talk about here?
You know, I think that's good for a test pilot. We don't want to bore our audience too bad. Keep people wanting more, right?
Yep. Have a good one, and nice talking with you.
Thanks for joining us.
I'm now brown cow. Yes.
Unique New York.
So I'm really hoping that fan didn't muffle all of the audio.
Oh shucks.
So if it is, it's not like covered that much. That